Hello everybody, I'm your brother 9, and welcome to my top 10 favorite Undertale songs. My original idea for this countdown was going to be Halloween themed, but I ran into some problems, and so now we're going to talk about Undertale, which is awesome, because Undertale is one of the best games I've played recently, and its music is like so good. Music is so important to me when it comes to video games, and the soundtrack in Undertale is like, wow, so good. So I decided I'd talk about it. I mean, I've been looking for a reason to talk about Undertale for a really long time, so that's what I'm gonna do. There are so many top quality songs in Undertale, and it's very probable that I left off one of your favorite songs, and you know, just ordering these songs was an absolute nightmare. I knew which song I wanted to put for first because it's so good, and I knew immediately that it was my favorite song. But there were a lot of songs that I was like, I don't know if I want to leave this off because it was just so good. And as such, it's very probable that a song that's like ranked 8 could just as easily be around like 5 or 4 or something, depending on like my mood and that kind of day. The songs are just that close. They're so close. And I couldn't really decide which song that I wanted to leave out of the bottom 2, so that's why we have a top 11 instead of a top 10. I'm gonna warn you right now, there are gonna be massive spoilers on this list. In order to talk about each of the songs properly, I need to talk about the setting that they're in, and the story usually has a very important part of setting up what the song means to me. So, spoilers all over the place. And if you're okay with spoilers, you've played the game, you've seen all the stuff, or you just don't care and you want to hear some killer music, well then, let's get this started. Undertale is a game that's heavily inspired by the Mother series. From the humor, to the art style, to the music, this game is just one huge love letter to Mother. And out of the whole soundtrack, nothing encapsulates that Mother feel more than Dummy. Had I heard this song without knowing where it was from, I would have guessed it to be a song from Earthbound. The song is every bit of wacky that you'd expect from a classic Mother game. It hits every point in the song with that unique sound that you can only describe as sounding like Mother. It was because of this resemblance that I just couldn't leave Dummy off of the list. So here we are with it being at number 11. Now, the fight with Dummy was rather unexpected, and honestly not all that hard, but the text before the fight can vary depending on your interactions with other dummies throughout the game so far. The fight itself would actually be a bit forgettable if it wasn't for the text beforehand and the amazing song that plays throughout. While Dummy was a wonderful representation of the Mother series, Bone Trussell, or Nyehehe, is the song that I feel represents Undertale more than any other song in the game. Whenever someone mentions Undertale to me in the coming years, this little tune is going to be playing in the back of my head continuously. The Nyehehe version plays in so many of the best and funniest parts of the game and will be forever ingrained into my brain. The song was perfectly tuned for joke delivery, and it works so well during the scenes with Sans and Papyrus. Papyrus is just one of the best characters in Undertale, and his song perfectly captures his character. Like, if you could take Papyrus, lay him out on a table, and play his bones like a xylophone, I'm positive that this song is what you'd hear. Both versions of this song are really good, and they're honestly pretty much the exact same thing, but there are subtle differences, and I prefer Nyehehe more than Bone Trussell. And now for a huge change of pace. It's Raining Somewhere Else is a song that came out of nowhere for me. I highly expected this date with Sans to be joke-filled and include Papyrus like popping out of nowhere to talk about his spaghetti or something. I was not expecting this super dreamy song to come on and set the perfect mood. The melody is so enchanting and I could listen to this on repeat for hours, but I think my favorite part of the song is the beginning. All the background sounds do a wonderful job of setting the atmosphere, and it's a shame that songs don't use effects more often. I would like to talk about the song more, but I think I'm gonna let it do its talking for itself. It's not often that I can put the final boss music so low on a list, but here we are. Hopes and Dreams is an amazing piece of music that plays during the true final boss battle of a pacifist run. It has a killer intro with some sick guitar riffs and a rad melody. It managed to capture the feel of a final boss pretty dang well. It's the kind of song that's there to sound all super inspiring and push you to finally beat the big bad guy. It does its job so incredibly well, I'm not gonna lie. However, with all this praise, you might be wondering why it's so low on the list. Well, besides the things that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I just don't feel like the song is as amazing as a standalone piece. It's wonderful, but a lot of the love I have for the song comes more so for my love for this particular fight, not the music track alone. Either that, or I got sick of hearing it over and over as I was getting absolutely bodied by Asriel. Whoa, I see you there, going to click off this video because I'm putting the most iconic song from this game at only number 7. But hear me out. I doubt you'll agree with me, but at least when you click off this video, you'll have taken a chance to open your mind to differing opinions. Oh, who am I kidding, it's the internet. So, Megalomania, the song that was featured previously in an Earthbound Halloween hack and in Homestuck, has returned to be part of the hardest fight in the entire game. The reason I put this song lower on the list is simply because I feel like the song was almost forced into the game. I don't feel like the song fits Sans battle as well as all the other boss songs in the game. Every other boss song really captures the feel of the character, but I just don't get that from this song. However, I guess all that goes out the window when you consider the theory that it's actually the player's fight song, since the word Megalomania means an obsession with power or dominance, which is exactly what a genocide run's all about. Now, as for what's good about this song, I don't really need to say much. It's super catchy and instantly recognizable. The way the song transitions into the melody is godly, and the melody itself just radiates top quality. I don't even care about how hard the fight is because it's worth it to die continuously just to listen to the song again. I'm not having a bad time. Now, with all 2 of you still watching this video, let's talk about Waterfall. All of the area songs in this game are top notch, and it's my absolute belief that one of the most important things about a game is to draw in a player with that atmosphere, usually accomplished by the visuals and the music. Every area song in Undertale does a fantastic job of creating the atmosphere properly, and it was super hard for me to pick which one was my favorite, but I eventually settled on Waterfall. The ringing in the beginning gives the player a sense of mystery until you hit the lower notes later on that mesh so wonderfully with that ringing. Then the song builds more with the strings, and it captured this perfect combination of mystery and sadness. The song levels out there, but it did its job. The player's left with a sense of wonder for this world and its rich history, but also sorrow because that history is marked with bloodshed. This song just really makes you feel. I don't have some super deep reason to like Spider Dance, I just do. I love the high notes in the beginning because it sounds like all the other spiders in the room, and I like the way that the main melody sounds like it's jumping up and down like a spider bungee jumping with its web. I don't know, I just like the song. It's cool. It's a cute song, but my favorite part is when the main melody comes in. That part is probably the catchiest tune in the entire game. I love this song because no matter how many times I listen to it, I always wait for that drop, and it sounds so good every single time. The saddest thing about this fight is that it's possible to skip it if you eat a spider donut or the spider cider in front of her on the first turn, which means there are plenty of people that might have skipped out on the music. Now for the most hype song in the game, yeah! Or Spear of Justice, depending on which one you prefer. The intro to this song is so good, and I'll probably never forget it. I can't even sleep anymore because whenever I'm laying down, this song is constantly repeating itself in my head. The first time you hear it is right before the fight with Undyne, and it comes out of nowhere to completely break the mood so that you know it's time to fight. This song holds so much power behind it, and every note is delivered with such incredible force. I'm surprised that my computer didn't explode from sheer awesomeness the first time this played. Like Bone Trussell, this song also plays outside of the battle with Undyne, and whenever it does, it fits the situation perfectly. It's the kind of over-the-top scenes that are very popular in anime, which is fitting because of what Undyne believes humans to be. I also happen to love over-top anime, so this song fits perfectly to my tastes. Now, if only I could learn how to suplex a boulder. Battle Against a True Hero is a song that lives up to its legendary name. This is the other Undyne fight song, or to be more precise, the Undyne the Undying fight song. It plays when you fight Undyne in the genocide route, and if you don't know what's coming, it is a huge shock. All of the enemies in Genocide up to this point are laughably easy. They don't stand a chance against the wrath of the player. Even the bosses can't do anything. Each and every one of them gets bodied in one hit, no matter your level. Eventually get to a point where you have to take out the Monster Kid, but Undyne jumps in to save Monster Kid and is also obliterated with just the one attack. Until her soul decides to hold on, she becomes the first monster to present a problem to the player. The first monster to have a difficult fight in the Genocide run. The first monster with determination. And then the song kicks in, and it's legit. The way the piano notes descend at the beginning of the song until that first low chord is strong is one of the best intros to a song I've ever heard. Then the song just builds up more and more until it hits that top point and your ears just explode from how cool Undyne is. Then you realize that the protagonist of the story isn't you, the player. It's Undyne the Undying, a true hero. And then you probably die and have to restart all over again, but oh, is it so worth it. This song, oh man, this song gives me the feels, as it rightfully should with a name like Heartache. Toriel is the mom of all moms. I got so attached to her at the beginning of this game, and I'm sure most of you did as well. Goat Mom does everything with the utmost tender care, and she's the character that never deserved any pain whatsoever. She holds your hand, she pets your head, she talks to you about science and snails, and she even bakes you a pie. A pie, for goodness sake. But in order to continue the story, the player needs to escape the ruins, and Toriel stands in the way of doing so. So, against your better interests, you fight with Toriel, and it's the most heartbreaking thing in the entire game. But the music is so good! Ah! It's the first boss song in the game, and it shows you exactly what Undertale is about. The Ruins area music is definitely something of note on its own, but when this fight started, I knew I was in for a musical experience unlike any other. This song captures the feeling of heartache so perfectly, and I can't get over it, man. Just feels all over the place. Do you hear that? That's the sound of my being, filling up with every ounce of awesome that has ever manifested itself throughout this entire game. ASGORE is one of the coolest songs I've ever heard in a game, period. The song starts out with, Bergen Trucken? Bergen Trucken is an intro tune that is just so menacing, so foreboding, that you start to forget how peaceful ASGORE seemed up until this point. Then ASGORE, the song, kicks in with the rest of the instruments, and holy crap, is it the most intense feeling ever. After going through this entire game with so many good songs, I was prepared for the final boss to have something that I wouldn't even be able to comprehend how good it is. While ASGORE doesn't turn out to be the final boss, I definitely thought he was at the time, and I was so incredibly satisfied with how it turned out. There was so much build up to this point throughout the entire game, and even Bergentrucken builds it up just a tiny bit more. There are only so many words that I know in the English language, and none of them can properly describe how epic this battle feels. It's just so good. As the fight goes on, the music gets more and more intense, and it just fills you up with a ton of inspiration, a ton of hope, a ton of determination. Undertale is a wonderful game with some killer songs. The area songs, the cutscene songs, and oh man, the boss songs. There are so many good songs that I didn't just get to talk about, so I implore you to go check out both the soundtrack and the game yourself. After you've done so, go into the comments below and leave your own little top 10 list. I'm curious about what you guys think of the game's songs. Oh no, did I meet all of your expectations in this video? Well, if you're interested, you can check out the other things I do. I have other countdown videos I've done, but I mainly do Let's Plays. I also stream games, and if you want to see more Undertale, you can check out that one time I streamed it, but be warned as there's a bunch of technical difficulties early on. I mean, it was the first game I've ever streamed. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please click that like button. And if you want to stay updated on my stuff, you can always click subscribe. I hope you'll go check out Undertale for yourself, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.